Alright, here's the interior of the Mustang SVO. As stock, it has these gauges, the turbo boost gauge, which is curiously lacking a vacuum measurement, engine coolant temperature, oil pressure, and fuel gauge, along with tachometer, speedometer. Wanting more information, I deleted the radio and added these guys down here for air-to-fuel ratio, fuel pressure, and exhaust gas temperature. Wanting more information still, I added the side pod over here that has a voltmeter and boost gauge complete with vacuum measurement. Now that I've got my own ECU in here, I've got access to every sensor in the car, so I can make pretty much any parameter known to the ECU known to me. So if I flip on ECU, wait for it to go through its starting sequence here, go ahead and give the car a start. So right now it's running off my ECU. The lights flashing when I started it was the camshaft position sensor communicating to the ECU, and ECU telling me that it locked on. So this is the opening splash screen. I've got page up and page down. So if I page down, I've got air-to-fuel ratio, wideband sensor output, real-time engine speed, real-time spark advance, and NOx sensor. NOx sensor goes through a 2-radian filter, so it's semi-readable. This switch here turns on the air-to-fuel ratio, wideband oxygen sensor, so if I flip that on, it'll give me real values for that. Next page down, this is a boost control screen, so it tells me the boost pressure reference from my ECU, the actual boost pressure output, estimated turbo speed, that's the compressor shaft speed in thousands of RPM, and mass airflow, and I guess volumetric airflow really, in cubic feet per minute going into the engine. This is the turbocharger efficiency screen. Basically I have the turbo discharge pressure, turbo inlet temperature, turbo outlet temperature, and based on that I make a ratio of how much work the compressor is doing versus how much is heating the air, and that'll give me a percentage of estimated turbocharger efficiency using physics. This is my intercooler efficiency screen, so I've got the turbo pressure again, plus the turbo outlet temperature and the intake manifold temperature. So basically temperature drop across the intercooler, and based on the ambient temperature outside, I can estimate an intercooler efficiency. Both temperatures are the same right now, inlet and outlet, so I'm assuming 0%. This is an accelerometer. I've got 3-axis accelerometer. On the left is real-time acceleration. That's going through a 5-radian filter to get rid of some of the noise. And then on the right is the instantaneous maximum pressure or acceleration. So if I lift up the ECU a little bit to simulate cornering, you'll see the y-axis give me some reading there, and if I put it back down, you'll see it remembered the max on the right, and the left went back to normal. Go down again. This is telling me the real-time brake-specific fuel consumption on top, estimated volumetric efficiency of the engine, real-time horsepower, real-time torque. If I page down again, here's just kind of an analog gauge of engine speed. If I rev it up, you can see it goes up. Analog gauge of air-to-fuel ratio. I've got my G meter in analog form and horsepower meter. And then you'll just scroll back through. If I flip this switch here, it data logs to the serial port, so now it's just outputting the analog to digital converter signals for every sensor to a laptop if I have it connected to the serial ports. And this other switch switches between the different timing maps on the ECU. And flip that off. Go back. So that's everything it does, and it's a lot of fun to watch.